So I want to start with hearing about your friendship. This beautiful friendship that we see on screen goes back decades to Saturday Night Live, when Harper, you were a writer, and Will, you were a rising new cast member. Is there a moment that you both remember of like first getting to know each other? Was there a joke or a sketch where you really connected and thought, this person gets me, we are on the same wavelength?
Oh, there's a seminal moment. We're both hired at the same time. So that season was 95, 96, and if you recall, pretty much a brand new cast, pretty much a brand new writing staff, and Harper and I had, I think, passed each other in the hallway, kind of said, hey, how you doing? Finally, we're like, hey, do you want to go to lunch? And we go downstairs in 30 Rock to have lunch, and it was our first kind of real get to know you moment. And unbeknownst to me, a lot of people have been walking around the halls going, who's the tall guy? I wonder what he does, because he doesn't seem very funny. And Harper and I had this great lunch where I felt relaxed enough to kind of show off my sense of humor, and we were making each other laugh, and she was kind of one of the first people I really connected with at the show, because you're just thrown in without any guidance, and she actually defended me to people who were like, he doesn't seem very funny, and she was like, no, actually, he's kind of funny. Sort of funny.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. But that, I'll never forget that lunch, because all of a sudden I was like, oh, I know her now, and she's going to be an ally, and I think I love her sense of humor, and we're going to be, I don't know, that could be a good match there.
Yeah, and you know how humor works for comedians, especially, it's like, it's across the board. It's like, I know so many comedians who I respect, but we don't speak the same comedy language. And it's little codes, it's little ways of doing things, the little bits, the little things that we do that are like, oh, this person is in my wheelhouse. And Will used to do this bit all the time with me where he would walk up to me and just tell me I know what you're thinking by he did a mind meld thing, and it never broke. It was always me going, you don't, and I don't know why you're doing this, but he would keep going, and not too long, so that it was like, oh, this guy's kind of sweaty. No, perfect. Everything was perfect for me. Like, oh, this guy speaks my language. Now, that doesn't mean there are comedians who don't speak language are incredibly funny. I just mean, that's where I think the lunch he's talking about and just sort of the first few weeks of SNL, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we're in the same wheelhouse here.
Harper would leave me notes at the page desk during rehearsals, and a page would run out. I was like, it's kind of important. Steele left you a note at the page desk. I'm like, oh, okay, is it a note about a sketch? And I'd run and I'd go read it, and it would say, don't blow this sketch.
Yeah.
But that helps, right? That kind of note totally helps.
Yeah.
It totally helps.
Do you have a favorite sketch that you worked together on?
I did these Robert Goulet sketches with Will that I loved. You know, I mean, Will is so good in those.
They were so fun. Trying to think of the other one.
I mean, we
There was an amazing sketch that Harper wrote called the Riding My Donkey political talk show.
Yeah, I did that one.
In which we were all pundits on live donkeys. Yeah. Which at one point the donkeys were trying to nuzzle each other, and one donkey had its head in Daryl Hammond's crotch.
Yeah, and I think tried to take a little bite.
Tried to bite him.
Yeah.
So
that wasn't writing, really.
That was just chaos.
That turned out really well, I thought.
Yeah.
So fast forward to 2022, and an email that Harper you sent to Will and others. What went into this idea of the road trip that you take on this documentary together?
Well, anyone who knows Harper knows that it's part of her DNA to take these long road trips. And for as long as I've known her, she was always, wait, Harper, where are you? Oh, I'm in Wyoming. Why? Oh, I had to go back to New York, but I'm just driving instead. So, and I was talking to a mutual friend who was saying that with her transition, she was now possibly lamenting the fact that these road trips where she didn't ever think twice about the places she went, being by herself, that now as a trans woman, could she still have the same experience? And it had been 6 months before we actually got to sit down and have a cup of coffee and kind of give each other a hug and say hello. And that's when I presented her with this idea of what if we go? What if we take a road trip and we'll go to all these places that in the past you wouldn't have thought about, but maybe they feel different or unsafe or, for whatever reasons. And it'll be a chance too for us to just discuss what this means to her, what her thinking was, and the questions I have about what it means to be trans. And you eventually agreed. At first you were like, that's very sweet, but I don't know.
I don't like being on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Harper, for you, what's it been like to watch back the final film and revisit that time?
I'm very proud of it. I think it's a very honest movie. That gives me great pride. It's as a woman, as someone who's still slightly, sometimes more than slightly dysphoric, it's hard for me to watch myself on camera. So I get a little. But I mean, I'm fine. It's not my favorite thing to look at myself. It never will be, I don't think. But I'm very proud of what it became, and just I think it's a very honest movie. So
in the movie, we see you stop along the way, all these like everyday spots, across America. You go back to your hometown. There's an amazing unicycle moment outside your childhood home. We see you at like a NASCAR style racetrack and these like little bars. But I have something for you that I wondered what memories these might bring up.
Yes, our favorite food. We can't, you know what?
Pizza flavored.
If the Pringles company goes out of business because we're promoting them, then we're deeply sorry. Because
pizza Pringles are actually made in Napoli.
Yeah, those are, yes. That's the one exported can. Those are like $50 a can.
Yeah, this is expensive.
I think you are immortalizing Pringles as the snack of friendship in this film.
Good. The snack of friendship. I like it.
I love this idea of just pulling over into a Walmart parking lot, busting out the camping chairs, drinking some beers with your friend. Is this just the kind of thing that you did along the way?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, Will does not do that. So that was.
But that was part of the, no pun intended, roadmap.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you do on these road trips. Is you bring the fold-out chairs and you'll just sit and.
Some of the funnest people are in a Walmart parking lot, I have to say.
Will, for yourself, you're questioning a lot of things about like how to be an ally. And that's such an interesting part of it. Harper, you're engaging in those conversations from your end as well. What were some of the takeaways that you found you had at the end of the road that you didn't have at the beginning?
A profound respect for my friend for being brave enough to kind of, be her true self. And even though it maybe took longer than she would have liked it to have taken, but it is what it is, right?
No, that's very true.
But also just I found along the way that my job, not my job, but I just found that all I wanted to do was listen, ask the question, and just sit back and listen to, because there's just so much I didn't know about her story, about the pain, about and what it means on an everyday, kind of scale to be trans was just so enlightening to me.
For me, the end of the documentary, I did learn something on the way that I think is very important. When you have a cis friend and you're trans, there's so many people, and especially in blue states like LA or New York, where I spend a lot of time, everyone knows trans people. and they say they know them. And I think that that's wonderful and true, but Will took the time to really know me better after the transition. And I think if you watch this movie, I personally feel it. This was a deep.
I just want to have one.
Deep,
Just
a
wanted to have
very
one.
deep insight.
Go ahead. No,
This was the most
everyone's listening.
important quote.
Everyone's listening.
I kind of forgot where I was. No. I think I was just going like, if you watch the movie, you see Will's transition as well as mine, and I think that's very beautiful. So, is it good?
Oh, buongiorno. Sorry, I'm in Italy right now. I'm in a Venetian gondola.
With some other familiar friends join you along this journey to cheer you along. Can you share some of those folks that appeared and showed up for you, Harper, and what that meant to you?
I have such wonderful friends that I've met throughout my entertainment career and my life that were immediately supportive. So that was wonderful, and not always the case with a lot of trans people. And so I'm very fortunate, very lucky there. And to have them take part in this is yet another, it's a walk towards me that I appreciate. Yeah.
Kristen Wiig for Best Song?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. No, that's a done deal.
The short list.
Yeah, the short list. Yeah.
It should be on the short list for next year.